up, a Cinema Shogun here, and you all know all about Ezra Miller's problematic behavior. You all know all about the allegations that have been made against Ezra Miller. You know all about the random assaults that Ezra Miller has carried out. But have you ever sat down and asked yourself the question, what caused Ezra Miller to be this way in the first place? Well, I believe I have the answer to that question, at least partially. And oddly enough, the answer to that question was revealed by one of Ezra's little cult members, although I think they're too stupid to realize what they were revealing. And we will get to that in just a moment. But first, in my last video on Ezra Miller, I exposed something that Ezra and his little cult don't want exposed. I exposed that Ezra is in a new relationship with some woman. You all have seen the headlines. You've seen the videos. Ezra Miller has this young woman and her little kids living with him on his ranch. And I exposed the fact that at least in this woman's mind, she's in a relationship with Ezra. And she recently slipped up and made the mistake, maybe it was on purpose, of uploading some photos of herself. But in these photos, she has bruises up and down her body. And that really made me worry, not just for her well-being, but for her kids' well-being. Now, she's aware that I made this video, and she's had some nasty things to say about me, along with Ezra's cult. Now, why do I call it a cult? Well, because that's what it is. And over the past week or so, I have been getting attacked nonstop by these people, which only reaffirms the fact that I believe this is a cult. The way these people have acted to me over the past week or so, it just basically confirms everything that I thought. Now, a lot of these profiles and a lot of these people defending Ezra, it's like they popped up out the blue. Their social media profiles were created not that long ago. All they talk about is Ezra Miller 24/7. They hunt down and attack anyone who says anything about Ezra Miller. But oddly enough, I never see them in the comment section of other YouTubers who are talking about Ezra Miller. And that raised the question in my mind, what about me is so special? You know, I look around and there's other people covering this Ezra Miller story that are getting way more views than I do. Albeit, when I watch their content, nothing against these creators, but a lot of it's not diving as deep into this story as I have. You know, people are just on the outside looking in on this story while I have dived all the way in. And like I said, I don't say that to look down on any other creator, but it leads me to believe that the reason I'm getting so much hate from Ezra's cult and these other bigger YouTubers aren't is because I'm hovering the closest over the truth. They didn't like that I revealed that Ezra is in a relationship with this woman. For one, it blows up their narrative. They are desperate for you to believe that Ezra is this gay, non-binary person that doesn't like women. They're desperate for you to believe that because that's Ezra's level of protection. Once it gets out there that Ezra Miller likes women and he's sleeping around like a regular straight dude, they know that they will no longer be able to call people phobics or ist or what have you when they come after Ezra Miller. So Ezra Miller, and I've exposed this on countless videos, he's been using his sexuality and his gender identity as a shield to try to shield him from criticism. And anyone would tell you that. Even the people who are direct victims of Ezra Miller will tell you when they called him out for his bad behavior, he called him phobic, he called him this. He basically tried to gaslight them and pretend that they're a bad person for just pointing out that what he was doing is wrong. So they're desperate for the world not to realize that Ezra Miller likes pussy just as much as most of us. He's not as gay as you think. But during all of this, I was getting called the worst names on the planet for being worried about some kids' well-being that are under the tutelage of Ezra Miller. Kids who have been seen walking around with bullets in their mouth. And I made the mistake of calling one of Ezra Miller's little cult members a he. But you see, they didn't want to be called a he. They wanted to be called a vamp. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Some of Ezra Miller's fan base and little cult, they believe they're vampires. I'm not joking. This isn't a joke. They believe they're vampires, and because I didn't know, and I called this person a he, I am being labeled online as being phobic and as being, a homo, whatever. I don't even want to say the words here because it's bad for YouTube. But you all know what I'm being called. I guess you all can, you can understand what I'm trying to say here. So because I wouldn't call this person a vampire instead of a he, they're starting to, light the pitchforks, and they're raising this hate campaign against me and my channel. But it goes to show how off the wall and out of touch with reality a lot of these pronoun people are. I've made it clear that I don't get down with all of this pronoun stuff. And this right here is the perfect example as to why. You see, a lot of people, when they hear the pronoun stuff introduced to them, they think, oh, it's just men who want to be identified as a she. This man wants to dress up like a woman and he wants you to refer to him as a her or a she. Or they think, hey, this woman wants to be a man. They want you to refer to her or this woman as a he or a him. That's what people think pronouns mean. But in reality, it has gone so much further than that. We now have people who literally, I'm not joking, straight face here. I know I put humor in my channel, but I'm dead serious right now. We have people in our society that want to be referred to as trees and cats and now vampires. And if you don't go along with this illusion, calling this person a vampire, then you will be labeled a bad person. You will be labeled a phobe. You will be labeled someone that hates other people for their way of life. Why do you hate people so much? And it just goes to show how insane it is. You give people an inch, they're going to take a mile. All of you all that are conforming with this pronoun stuff and you think, oh, I'm just trying to be nice and accepting, you don't realize what you're doing. You're really, for lack of better words, you're enabling bad behavior. You're enabling people with poor mental health to control the narrative of our society. And like I said, it goes so much further. A lot of the people pushing this pronoun stuff, they don't realize what they're pushing. They just see it. They're like, oh, I want to be labeled as accepting. I don't want people to think I'm a bad person. Let me go ahead and put my pronouns in my bio. These people aren't trans. They're not LGBT. They're none of that. They're just regular people who are scared and afraid of society labeling them as a bad person. So they go along with all this pronoun stuff, not realizing what it actually means and not realizing the agenda behind it. So I want you all to realize, when you get upset with me about not using Ezra's pronouns and stuff, realize how deep this stuff goes. I could sit here and expose this stuff for hours. That's not what I'm here to do on my channel. But I want you all to realize the levels of this stuff. It's way past he, she, them, they. There are people that want to be referred to as all types of weird stuff that no one in their right mind is going to go along with it. So because I'm not calling Ezra Miller fans, I believe they want to be called a vamp, and oh my God. It's totally insane. I wish you all need to follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. You can see a lot of this stuff happen in real time. But yeah, Ezra Miller fans, they want me dead because I misgendered someone by not calling them a vampire. Why? They said because vampire pronouns are cool. And you could listen to that and be like, oh man, those people are mentally ill, they're stupid, and dismiss it. But you have to realize, these people hold more power than you think. People are getting pulled off of social media every day for misgendering people. And sooner or later, if you don't refer to this person as a vampire or Dracula or the freaking werewolf, your voice will be erased offline. You may even lose your job. That's how far this stuff is going. But during this hate campaign, everyone's calling me all of these bad names because I didn't call someone a vampire. During this hate campaign, someone reached out to me, or they didn't reach out to me. They basically commented under one of my tweets and they called me a fascist pig. You're a fascist pig for not respecting this guy's vampire pronouns. What is wrong with you? Now, in this person's picture, they have a picture with Ezra Miller. Now, I want you to look at this picture. This picture, it's a thing of nightmares, but it makes me bust out laughing every time I look at it. Because just look at this picture. How could you take a picture with someone, look at this picture, and not realize that you just took a photo with someone who is out of their mind? Look at Ezra Miller's face. Now, this older woman next to him, that's one of Ezra's little cult members, one of his defenders. As you can see, she has a rainbow mask on that's pulled down. She's smiling ear to ear. She looks abnormal. And if you look next to her, we have Ezra Miller with the crazy eyes. You could always see it in the eyes, people. The eyes. When you see someone, this is a life lesson for all of you. When you see someone with this look in their eyes that Ezra Miller has, run far, far away. As far away as you can. Ezra Miller has those damn Jeffrey Dahmer eyes. Ezra Miller has those school shooter eyes. Ezra Miller has those Charles Manson eyes. Ezra Miller, if I could compare him to anything, it would be the Night Stalker. Do you all know about the Night Stalker? He's a serial killer. There's actually a Netflix documentary out there about him. Go watch it. Ezra Miller and this guy, they look exactly alike. But I think it's so funny that Ezra Miller fans are sitting here taking pictures with Ezra Miller and they don't even have the awareness in their mind to realize that he looks like a complete lunatic next to you. You're sitting here smiling. Ezra's not smiling. Ezra's looking like he's about to murder the next person that walks in the room. Maybe it's going to be you. Hopefully, because I don't know if people like this deserve to exist on planet Earth. Sorry. But this person called me a fastest pig for not knowing, and mind you, I was supposed to know. In these people's mind, you're automatically supposed to know their pronouns. So I, not knowing this person even existed, I was supposed to automatically know that they are not a man or a she or a her. They're a vampire. And I should have called them Vamp and Vamp Self. Hey, Vamp. Yeah, Vamp is over here doing it. It's so insane. And I'm telling you all right now, you normies out there who are shivering in your boots, afraid not to add pronouns to your bio and not to go along with all of this stuff, you have no idea what you're pushing. You have no idea. I'm telling you all right now. You all are responsible for part of the downfall of society. All of you all who go along with any of this social stuff just because you think it's hip, cool, or because it makes you look like a better person. Listen, if you're a good person, you're a good person. I know I'm a good person. I know I have a good heart. That's why I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I could sit here and talk about pronouns all day because you know why? I know in my heart, I'm a good person. And you can say whatever shit you want to say about me. I will remain a good person. Regardless if I agree with pronouns or not. But other people, they're not so secure with themselves. In fact, they're insecure not only with themselves as a person, but they're insecure about their actions in life. And they think that, hey, maybe I am a bad person. Maybe these pronouns will make me look like a better person. I don't need any of that. I'm a good-hearted person. If you ever had a conversation with me, if you knew me in real life, then you would know that. And I think a lot of it transfers, to my videos, so you all can see that. But a lot of these people, they're just afraid. That's all it is. They're afraid. And I'm tired of it. You all are responsible for where we're at in today's society. But anyway, this person, Cher, who took this photo with an obviously psychotic Ezra Miller right next to them, she's lucky to have escaped with her life. She posted this post. And it's a story from Ezra Miller's sister. Now, when she posted this, she thought that she was doing something cool and great. The caption to this post even reads, "A sweet childhood Ezra Miller story from his sister." Now she thinks this story is so sweet, and it shows you how how stupid these people are. They lack awareness on so many levels. Not only are you taking pictures next to a psychopath without realizing that this, like the look in his eyes, like you even posted this as your profile picture and never thought for 1 second that people would look at it and be like, damn, Ezra Miller looks absolutely insane. But these people are completely clueless to anything. All they know about, well, they don't know about anything actually. They don't even know their own gender. So, I mean, it doesn't come as a surprise that these people lack awareness on all levels. But here is something that was shared by Ezra Miller's his bigger sister. This isn't something that's necessarily supposed to be out there in the mainstream, but this little cult member released this, and I want to read it to you all. "In the house where I grew up, there was a room full of dress-up clothes. It had an ugly brown carpet and lacy curtains. There were trunks lining the wall, bursting with old dresses, suits, silk scarves, and hats. This is where my brother and I spent most of our childhood. And where I learned the art of drag." Pause 1 second. I want you all to understand, these are little kids. This is a story about Ezra and his sister when they are little kids. And she's saying that she discovered the art of drag as a child. Now, in recent news and nowadays in our society, people are taking kids to drag shows. Yes, the same people who are pushing pronouns also agree that kids should be exposed to drag queens. We even have Drag Queen Story Hour now coming to an elementary school or public library near you. Some people will make you believe that this is all a big hoopla and it's not really happening, but it's happening. There's video evidence, there's photo evidence, there's flyers online all over the place. Drag are these people, they're now trying to normalize drag for kids. There's even a new TV show coming out about kid drag queens. So when I say how our society is collapsing and that all of these people are responsible for it, this is what I mean. I don't care if you're gay, straight, him, they, even if you're a vamp. We should all be able to agree on certain things, and that's to leave kids alone. I know that a lot of the trans community, a lot of all of these different communities out there, they're not necessarily down with this stuff. They don't necessarily want to go out of their way to indoctrinate children. They just want to live their lives happily the way they want to live it. And I'm fine with that. I am cool with that. If you want to be a woman today or a man tomorrow, fine. As long as you're not pushing that on other people and as long as you're being respectful to other people. But what I've noticed is these people are, and I don't want to generalize people. I don't like placing people in groups. But my interactions online with people who claim to be in this community, they're always bad. They're always bad. But in person, they're always good. You understand what I'm saying? Like when I interact with these people in real life, they seem to be kind to me and I'm kind to them. But online, they're like a hate mob that's trying to cancel any and everything. And now they're trying to cancel me for not calling someone a vampire. So all of this stuff is just contributing to the downfall of our society. When we've reached the point where half of our country agrees with little kids going to drag shows, then we've already spiraled down too far. But that's a story for another day. Let's get back into this. So where were we at? Let me start from the beginning. In the house where I grew up, there was a room full of dress-up clothes that had an ugly brown carpet and lacy curtains. There were trunks lining the wall, bursting with old dresses, suits, scarves, silk, and hats. This is where my brother and I spent most of our childhood and where I learned the art of drag. Now, Sorry, I have to pause one more time. Ezra's sister discovering the art of drag. I want you all to understand what that means. That means that she's using Ezra as drag. Because can a woman dress up in drag? I've never really heard that before. There are pictures of us with grave expressions on our faces, dressed as two waitresses. So she used to dress up Ezra Miller as a waitress when he was a kid and take pictures of him. Maybe that can be kind of confusing. We also dressed as medieval serfs and peasants, and we were a source of endless inspiration. There was a blue shirt with gold buttons that could belong to a policeman or a sailor, depending on our mood. My brother was the guinea pig for all of my experiments regarding which clothes made women and which made men. I once dressed up Ezra as Little Bo Peep, and I made him sit behind our lemonade stand and sell lemonade, while I hid behind a tree and tallied up the number of customers who actually thought he was a girl. I remember thinking it was scary how seriously everyone else seemed to feel about this little game of dress up. I saw the grown-ups shaking their heads and chuckling nervously. I knew we only got away with it because we were kids. Wow. Creepy. Really creepy. Ezra Miller's sister, now in adulthood, is acknowledging that she used her younger brother Ezra as a guinea pig to dress up in drag and would often throw him outside in front of a lemonade stand like some type of odd human social experiment, like a lab rat, and would sit behind the tree and just tally down in her notebook, how many people think Ezra's a girl today? And then you wonder, why is Ezra Miller the way he is today? Why is Ezra Miller come across as this gender confused person who is lashing out at everyone else, often lashing out at people close to him? I wonder. Maybe, just maybe, it's because his sister used him as a little trans experiment as a child. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wonder why Ezra Miller is the way he is today, it's largely because of his sister and the sick and twisted games his sister used to play. What really stuck out to me was that last line. Her saying that even as a kid, she knew that they only got away with this because they were kids. So she knew all along what she was doing was wrong. Parents out there, please watch your kids around everybody. You have no idea what your kids are getting into. All of this stuff with Ezra Miller could have been avoided if Ezra Miller's sister wasn't playing these mind games with him as a child. I made a point in my past video that hurt people hurt people. That often victims of SA and victims of, let's just say, kids who are groomed as a child and over-sexualized as a child, often they grow up to groom other kids and over-sexualize other kids. So now Ezra, as an adult, with millions and millions of dollars, now he's playing the same sick and twisted game that his sister played on him. He's going around the world, picking up non-binary kids from random places as he goes, and he's playing dress up with them. Hey, you know what? You're a boy now. Now you're Gibson. You're no longer Takata. Now you're this. Hey, you. Actually, now you're that. Ezra Miller is in a grown-up game of dress up with a bunch of real life children and young people. It's so sad that this is being normalized in today's society. It's sad when we reach a point that you would read something like that and people would think it's beautiful. Like the person who posted this posted it thinking that this was a beautiful story from Ezra's childhood. The whole world needs to know this. But in reality, all they did was expose part of the reason why Ezra is so sick and twisted today. A lot of the reason why Ezra is confused today is because Ezra is still stuck in a dress, dressed up as Bo Peep, sitting behind a lemonade stand, looking as the world, taking tallies of how many people in life will think he's actually a woman, just like when he was a little kid. It's sad, man. But it doesn't surprise me. When you look into people like this, there's always something weird that went wrong in their childhood. 99.9% of the time, these people don't come from good childhoods and good upbringings. There's trauma there. You know, there's things that traumatize them that cause them to be the way they are. And people want to shy away from those conversations. People don't want to tackle the problem at the root. Instead, people want to enable stuff like this. But I want you all to understand, make no mistake about it. As many dresses as Ezra puts on, no matter how much he acts like a woman, Ezra Miller is a man. Ezra Miller has wants and desires like a man. Ezra Miller likes women. He likes having sex with women. I want to make that clear. Because people thinking otherwise is what got us here today. A lot of these families let Ezra in because he was this non-binary, genderless person, and they thought that he was going to be safe around their kids when it was the exact opposite. The exact opposite. But I just wanted to share this with you all today because, whoa, you know what I mean? Reading this story, it didn't come as a surprise to me, but it was surprising that they put this out there as if this is great. Oh man, we're going to respect Ezra Miller more and love him even more now that we know his sister forced him to dress like a girl and would sit around hiding, trying to make sure that other people thought he was a girl. But it shows you how crazy the people are who are following this man. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all on the next video.